Allegedly, there's a Philly rapper out there bent over on tape for Diddy, and Diddy directing him to do all different types of things. People assuming it's Meek Mill, but I'm trying to let y'all know it's a lot of rappers, or used to be rappers out there leaning, bent over, doing all different types of things in the streets of Philly right now. So it might be Meek Mill. The last time we seen him, he was looking a little flimsy.
Oh, Shawn, what's up?
Yeah, y'all already know how we playing out this. Let's real life.
Real life
Yeah.
shit.
No Diddy gang, Meek Mill in real life. Don't ever disrespect me, you
Talk
heard?
that Meek. Yeah, Meek.
You never know who on drugs in Philly. It's a lot of people getting caught up. It's a whole epidemic going on out there with people leaning, bent over. And Diddy had money, so he could have pulled up to Philly any day, at any time, and got somebody to bend over backwards for a little bag of crack. Damn. Wow. Devastating. Was that MC Butt Crack? The streets is talking, and a lot of people believe it's Meek Mill that Diddy got on these tapes. A lot of celebrities are worried about it. Rihanna, she ain't show her face in a month. People stopped buying her clothes. There's a bidding war going on. People been wondering whatever happened to the tapes, but they not trying to release this to the public for free because it got celebrities on there. It's gonna be bigger than the Kim Kardashian Ray J tape.
Well, he said a Philly rapper. You understand? And it was redacted in the paperwork to that because, first of all, it had Meek Mills, it had Stevie J. They had redacted their names, and they had Usher, and they redacted their names and just said a performer of the Super Bowl and a Philly rapper.
Wow.
Everybody kind of knew back in the day that Meek Mills and Puff was a little too friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime two rappers or two people in the industry come dressed up alike on more than one occasion, listen here, man. My dudes in Philly, I got some real strong dudes in Philly. They don't play that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably embarrassed for the fact to see that Meek Mills, one of the street guys that came out of there, got caught up in this Hollywood, whereas that he's dressing like, he dressing the same, he dressing like Diddy, hugged up with.
And that's what I was trying to tell y'all. In the tape, allegedly, Diddy got this man doing all different types of things. And according to Gene Deal, Diddy and Meek Mill was way too close, dressing alike, hugged up in videos, hugged up in concerts, hugged up in clubs, hugged up on cameras. It's sickening to see that it's a possibility that Meek Mill might be the person on the tape that they talking about. Y'all need to listen at this.
A discovery hearing is scheduled for today in the federal investigation into sexual assault allegations against music mogul Shawn Diddy Combs. More than 30 lawsuits have already been filed against him alleging sexual assault and rape. 3 separate anonymous suits were filed just last week by men accusing Combs of putting drugs in their drinks and then allegedly raping them. The hip-hop star's attorney says these latest lawsuits are, quote, full of lies. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all the federal charges that are against him. And he's talked about some of these civil suits as well. Here with me now is the attorney representing the latest 3 accusers, Thomas Giffra. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
I want to ask you, there are dozens of people coming forward. Some to you, some to another attorney, but there are dozens of people. What stood out with these 3 men to you that made you say, you know what, we need to file this case?
The patterns. Whenever you have a serial abuser, they follow a pattern. Harvey Weinstein had a pattern, Shawn Combs has a pattern, and with all 3 of them, the stories are a little different, but the pattern's always the same. Come into my orbit, have a drink, you get woozy, take a rest, wake up to being sodomized. That was the pattern, and it was the same in every single story.
and the details that they told you. Can you give me a sense of, was there some
There was people out there that didn't want the money. He can afford anything, but he would rather date rape instead of just breaking somebody off a bag. And plus all the admiring fans out there that would be willing to do anything that he want them to do just to be in his presence. They make it seem like he didn't have Farnsworth Bentley on deck. He could have easily asked Farnsworth to do whatever it is that he wanted him to do. Then you might say Farnsworth wasn't his type. They said he had a relationship with the father from Family Matters. It's a bunch of fat, bald-head black dudes out here that ain't got nothing to do. He could have easily pulled up on any one of these grandpas and had them drop their goddamn diapers for a little bit of change. But he would rather drug people. And Meek Mill was his boy toy, but he would rather drug somebody when Meek is on deck. Allegedly. And I don't believe those rumors about Meek Mill. But people have been saying it for so long, I can't even look at him the same without thinking about him being in the same bed with Diddy.
What's up? What's up?
Yeah, y'all already know how we playing out this real life.
Real life
Yeah,
shit,
nigga,
yeah.
no Diddy gang, Meek Mill in real life. Don't ever disrespect me, you
Talk
heard?
that shit, Meek. Yeah, Meek.
I see crack in his eyes. I see crack in his walk. I see crack in everything that Meek Mill is doing nowadays, man. I know when somebody using and abusing. He look like he done stole a couple of chains. His jewelry getting smaller and smaller. His t-shirt getting smaller. Everything getting smaller. The jacket too small. The jeans too small. He got that look in his eyes like he's seen outer space. Like he done went to the lowest of lows and needed something to pick him back up. Please tell me Meek Mill ain't turned into a fiend out here in these streets. With allegations like that out about him getting it in with Diddy and everybody knows it. The dude in the camera with him, he looking like he's suspicious of Meek. His mans and them, everybody on the block, when he pull up, ain't no telling what they thinking to themselves. And if you know Philly like I know Philly, people do not hold their tongues, man. You could be walking down the street, whatever it is about you, somebody gonna blurt it out in Philly. If your sneakers dirty, somebody gonna tell you got dirty sneakers. If your hair nappy, somebody gonna say your hair nappy. If your lips ashy, somebody gonna say your lips ashy, man. So it gotta be hard out there in them Philly streets where people refuse to hold their tongue. So everywhere he goes, somebody gonna blurt out something. Either it's somebody's auntie, somebody's mother, somebody's kid. It gotta be hard out there for him in them streets of Philly. So that look on his face, man, I see crack in his eyes, man. And this ain't no disrespect to Meek Mill, but I can see it. Do y'all see it? Let me know in the comment section if y'all see it, man. Y'all need to listen at this.
a sense of, was there some detail that sort of stuck with you that said, I have to go forward with this?
Well, I think the person who was his gopher really struck me when he regained consciousness and Shawn says to him, "I'm almost done, held still." And that struck me. That was a powerful...
His gopher. He said that his gopher was the one that woke up in pain. And Diddy said, "Hold on, I'm almost done. If you're his gopher and you working to fulfill his every need, his fantasy, you had to be with it, man. And this guy looked like he was definitely with it. So he had somebody in his circle that wasn't with it. I know it wasn't Freddie P, man. If the gopher wasn't Farnsworth Bentley, who was it, man? Was Meek Mill his gopher? How many people did he have that would go and get him a cheesecake, walk all the way to Brooklyn? That sound like a gopher to me. It could have been Freddie. It could have been Chopper, E-Ness, Sarah, Babs, Bunny, Dylon. It could have been anybody from the band.
Well, I think the person who was his gopher really struck me when he regained consciousness and Shawn says to him, "I'm almost done, held still." And that struck me. That was a powerful recollection, and I was struck by it, and just the rawness and the arrogance, actually, that went along with it, and the entitlement. So that was the one that really stuck with me.
I want to ask you, because your clients are filing for now anonymously.
Correct.
Why?
Every single one of them, after the rapes, were threatened. They were threatened with physical harm. They were told, if you do anything, it's not going to be good for you. And Shawn Combs is not somebody who runs around with a bunch of choir boys. And those threats are very real to all of these men. One of them knew him from the neighborhood, knew the people he ran with, and knew that these were not empty threats. These were not a bunch of lawyers in offices somewhere.
Yo.
These are guys.
If you tell anybody what I did with your booty, playboy, it's gonna be lights out. A man's right here gonna break your legs. A man right here gonna take your mother and bash her face into the mailbox. Better not never say nothing about what I just did to you, alright? Alright, now put your clothes on, shit. Get the fuck out of here, man. Yeah. You liked it, didn't you? Don't lie. Look at me in my face. Come here, look at me in my face. Look, You liked it, didn't you? Yeah, now get the fuck out of here, man. Yo, Gene Dill, make sure that nigga follow that nigga home, you know what I'm saying? Make sure he don't go to the precinct or nothing like that, you heard? Alright, man, I'm about to hop in the shower and tell that other nigga, tell him nigga come in here, man. Do y'all believe that's how it went down? That Diddy was raping, then threatening people? They wake up from feeling woozy. Man, I refuse to believe that Diddy had them boys so shook after he took their booties that they were scared to say anything and had to run to the lawyer just to get some help and some sympathy out the situation, man.
After the rapes were threatened. They were threatened with physical harm. They were told, if you do anything, it's not going to be good for you. And Shawn Combs is not somebody who runs around with a bunch of choir boys. And those threats are very real to all of these men. One of them knew him from the neighborhood, knew the people he ran with, and knew that these were not empty threats. These were not a bunch of lawyers in offices somewhere. These are guys who can follow through, make your life end, cause you physical harm. So they were terrified.
You know the law better than I do that defendants have to be able to face their accusers. And in another case, a judge did say, look, this was filed anonymously, but you now have to reveal your name. And she did indeed reveal her name. Are your clients willing, if that's what transpires, to
If it comes to pass, that's a discussion we'll have to have. I think my own personal opinion as somebody who represents people who are the survivors of abuse is this is another device by which the abusers try to abuse them and intimidate them. So I think, frankly, if it was me and I was in Washington or I was in Albany.
Like, sir, state your name. Choke, no joke. Like, speak up, sir. We can't hear you. State your name. Choke, no joke. Like, sir, we can't hear you. Choke, no joke, nigga, man. Yeah, it's me, man. Yeah. Yeah, Diddy did it, you know. I was at the party with him, you know, had a drink and shit, you know. What I really want to talk about is my $3 million, man. Can we get around to that part, Your Honor? They're going to be pissed off when they got to say their name. Like, sir, what is your name? Like, Big Gene. Like, excuse me, can you repeat that? The Big Gene. Like, sir, we need you to speak up. It's Gene Dill, man. You know, from the Art of Dialogue, man. Yeah, I was with Puff. I worked with him for 13 years, man. Gene is get to talking. They have to take breaks. The court adjourned. He's still in there talking, man. The janitor, he coming there to clean up at night. Gene Dill sitting in the courtroom all alone, still giving his testimony. And Your Honor, I used to have to watch the kids. Kim Porter was so nice to me, Your Honor. She was such a sweet lady. I mean, I love Kim Porter. Rest in peace. God rest her soul, man. But Justin, I knew he was going to be a problem because Wolf is his father. You know this little nigga look like Wolf, right? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You know, and Puff ain't never really loved them kids because if he did, he wouldn't have been having freak-offs in front of the kids. One night, he in the bathtub all night. Like, Puff, your kids got to go to school in the morning. Why you in the bathtub with these men? Got these women splashing all over the place. Kids can't even get no sleep, man. Don't you know I had to take the kids to school in the morning and they ain't getting no sleep? Got me taking them to McDonald's, giving little kids coffee, man. Have you ever seen a little kid burn his lips from drinking coffee because his mother and father up all night having freak-offs when they trying to get some sleep, man?
The law, I would say any abuser should be able to proceed anonymously, but that's just not the law. They leave it to a judge.
We know that there are several cases going simultaneously,
Correct.
Including a criminal case. Has anyone contacted you or your clients from the federal government, from federal investigations, to ask for details? To
Not at this time. Not at this
Not
time.
this
no.
time.
No.
Okay.
But we only filed it, in the last few days.
I know you saw what Combs has said about your clients. Full of lies. These stories are full of lies. What do you say to him and his attorneys?
Well, what else are they going to say? They're not going to say they're true. They're going to say the typical thing that's said in every single one of these cases, that these are untrue, it's made up, it's phony, it's just a monetary...
That's the same thing Meek Mill said, y'all. And that's why people thinking it was him bent over in the tape for Diddy. Because he denied the tape. He talking about no Diddy gang. But they got him and Diddy dressed alike, wearing the same clothes, doing the same things. Diddy telling him what to do. He was willing to do it. It's a possibility he on them Philly drugs, man. And these Philly drugs are deadly. That fentanyl killing people got everybody bent over leaning. It could be your favorite rapper out of Philly. We don't know, man. Pray for Philly. And I know it's a bunch of real dudes out there. I don't want no smoke. It's a bunch of real people out there in Philly that will speak their mind there, tell it how they see it. They ain't got no filter. So for Meek Mill, I know it's hard out there for him in them Philly streets. Y'all gotta let me know how y'all feel about this in the comment section. I got so much love for y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. And I want to thank y'all for tuning in to the Shawn Blazington podcast. Join the channel. I got so much love for y'all. I'm gonna holler at y'all on the next stream.